All right. Just checking to see if the stream's working. Um, I'm not sure what's going on here. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. ABC. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. All right. It looks like everything's working, so that's cool. All right. Great. I don't have a lot of time,
How
so
goes?
let me just get through this. Alright, so basically, to make a long story short, all the links will be in the description of the video, so I'm not going to explain how to install the mod. Okay? It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy. I think for most people, they should be able to just follow the directions on the mod page and everything should be fine. So, all I'm going to do right here, right now, is just show you the the mod without frame generation and the mod with frame generation. Okay, so so right now I'm at now NVIDIA wasn't deciding it wants to work and not work. Come on, NVIDIA. Like it's not working now. I don't know if it's the mod that's kind of screwing around with this or what. It worked when I restarted the game, so I might have to put on Afterburner. I don't really like to do that because it's just, I don't know. It seems like it messes with things, but whatever. Let's just see if that works. I like to use the NVIDIA overlay. All right. All right. So you can see the frames per second up top here. Let me where is it? Let me make it bigger. All right. So it's a lot bigger now. So with uh with just the mod running at native, so you can see the settings here. I'm at 100% resolution scale, right? You have to have FSR turned on so that the DLSS mod works. Sharpening, I don't know, it's just on 25%. I kept VRS on. I didn't know if we were supposed to do anything with that. I turned dynamic resolution off, so I don't know if that's like gonna screw around with stuff. I don't. I have to read the directions again, but whatever. Um, I don't. I can't say for sure whether the mod's working as far as DLSS goes, except for the fact that when I was looking at this, when I was looking at this before, okay, without the DLSS mod, like my character's hair, it had all kinds of shimmying going on, right? All the little strands, there was like aliasing going on, like shimmering. Also in the scene too, there was a lot of shimmering going on. Now I don't know if like the presentation for the mod is only like locally or like when I record the video, are you gonna still see all the aliasing and stuff? Because right now, looking at the video on my OBS, I can see the shimmering on the hair. Now I don't know if that's just because it's my other monitor or what. But like right now, looking at my character's hair on in the game, right? It looks really nice. Like her outfit looks really nice. I don't really see any shimmering going on. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like the DLAA is working, right? So DLAA would be the default if you didn't have any super sampling. All right, so if I put on, if I I mean, the game looks really nice like this. Now, I don't know what happens when you turn it down to, like, say, low settings. I don't know if you're supposed to mess with that. Again, I have a 4090 and everything's at ultra, you know, da 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 da. So I am going to do my other video cards. I'm going to do the 2070, I'm going to do the 2080 Ti, and I'm going to do the 3090. Okay, so I'll have to do them later because I have to go get my kids from school. So I only have time to do this one. But right now I'm just going to show you the difference that frame generation makes. Okay, so again, NVIDIA doesn't want to work. Alright, so I'm going to go over here and drag this over. So in your game directory, you're going to see a file called config.json. So you can say open with, and then notepad, you know, you can say just once, and then I'll drag that back over here and drag this. Oh wait, I should probably shut the game off first. Oops. Yeah, let me shut the game off. All right, so anyway, right now you can see that we're running at 64 frames per second. Okay. Now, let me just check something real quick just to make sure, because I'm learning too. I just did this. So if we put it on 50% resolution scale, let's see what frame rate we're going to get here. Okay, so we went from 67 to 107, right? And this is at 50% resolution scale. And the game still looks... I don't know, it still looks pretty much the same as it was. Now I am at 4K, so obviously it has a little more data to work with. So the 2070, 2080 Ti may not be so you know, beautiful, I guess you could say. Where'd the ladder come from? Why is there a ladder in the middle of the floor here? It is a little softer, I think. So let me just check that again. So we're gonna put it back up to 100. I don't really know what I can focus on here, because the lighting here is just all crappy. Like, most of it's fake lighting, you know? So I'm gonna go over here, because she looks...
How's it going? Can I help you?
She looks a lot better in the doorway if I can get it to where she was before. Oh, that's how the ladder's getting there. Let me see if I can just turn... Yeah, okay, there you go. Alright, so... Boy, I wish the broadcast would stop broadcasting. It's really annoying. The words come on. How do you get to... Can we turn off the... accessibility? Enable subtitles while walking around the game. Yeah, let's turn this off for now. Yay, no subtitles. Alright, so we're at 73 frames per second here. Resolution scale at 100. So we're going to turn that down to 50. So now we're up to 113 if we put it on 50% resolution scale. So
there's nothing like seeing old Sol coming through the big window in the morning.
huh. Let's see if she looks clearer. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, it's not easy to tell. Okay, yeah, she definitely looks better. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the difference isn't really that much from I mean, it is softer slightly, but Not much at 4K, you know. But but you're not even gonna need to change the resolution scale after you enable frame generation. All right, so I'm gonna save it here. Hopefully she'll stand here next time. All right, so now I'm gonna quit. All right, so let's um, so what you do is you open up that like I did a search in the Starfield folder, and um, like if you go back into the Starfield content folder, you just type in .json and it'll come up like that right here. Okay. So you just open it up and then where it says enable frame generation, I put it on false. And make sure you have this enable NIS sharpening at false too. I think that's what it said in the mod thing. So all you do is just change false to true, right? And you're going to have frame generation. Hit save. All right. And then close that and drag this back over and then play. Now frame generation will be enabled. Now it's going to go from whatever it was 70 what was it 76? I forget now. 72. All right. So let's continue again. Let's hopefully it's saved where I'm standing. All right. So she's back here again, and the ladies with the ladder. Don't you love it? Like where'd that ladder come from to begin with? You know, for them to have to be able to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Like it seems like it would have had to be on the floor to begin with. So I'm not sure what's going on. So you can see right off the bat we're at 113 frames per second. I wish there was a way to toggle it on and toggle it off. I mean, I don't think there is. So right now we have frame generation on, and that's at no upscaling at all. Okay. Now again, I'm not going to go over like running around and seeing if you can find any artifacts. Me personally, I don't care about that. Like, if I'm running around in a game, right, and I'm shooting and you know focused on doing my quest and all that, I'm not looking for like artifacts. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if something stands out like majorly, like somebody's hair melting into the ground, then I'll take a screenshot and say, "Oh, that's messed up." Right? Cuz that's kind of game breaking, right? That's like really immersive breaking. But the same people that whine and cry about frame generation artifacts are out here saying games look great when they're playing with FSR, and that's just bullcrap, right? FSR does not look good. It's never looked good, and it doesn't look good now, right? The only time that it is acceptable in my book to use is if you're playing at 4K. Then you can turn it down, to the 75%, and then, you're not going to lose as much quality. But you're still going to have the shimming and all the other artifacts that are in the game. It's not going to fix the aliasing, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Now I imagine AMD working on their FSR3, they're probably going to try to implement some kind of anti-aliasing because the DLAA in NVIDIA is just wonderful. I don't even want to use any other anti-aliasing. That's why I want DLSS. It's not necessarily to get higher frame rates, although that's a perk. The DLAA that NVIDIA has is worth having alone. You know what I mean? So we went from whatever it was, 72, 76 to 113. So that's what, 40, 50, 40? 40 frames we got just by enabling frame generation. Isn't that crazy? Right? And it doesn't look like there's anything weird going on here when I'm spinning around. I mean, do you see anything weird?
A reduced noise ordinance is in effect every night
Alright,
from
so
2200 hours.
now, if we want to put on DLSS, if we put it to say 75, right, we're going to go from 115
Till 0500 hours the next morning.
to 136. Wow. And the game still looks great at 4K. Again, no anomalies. I mean, I don't see anything glitching or her hair melting or everything looks really, her hair looks like looks like hair. Like everything's working fine, I guess. I don't know. It's like I said, I'm assuming it's working because where did all the frames come from? Does Nvidia report it? I don't. Yeah, they're reporting the same frames too. And look at the wattage. It went from 300 and some watts to 288. You know? So you're saving power too. So now we went from that lady's glitching, but I don't know if that's from frame generation or not. Could be. Who knows? Um, so we were at 72 with no frame generation and 100% resolution scale. We enabled frame generation with 100% resolution scale, and we got up to 115. So then we turned it down to 75%, and then we got 135. So let's turn it down to 50%. Let's go all the way to 50. So we were at 135. So now we're at 160. So let's see if there's like any kind of weird stuff going on here. Everything still looks good, man. I mean, I put in the 3.5, the DLSS 3.5. So I don't know, man. It's like if this is what we have to look forward to with 3.5, then I mean, this is great. Because if even without frame generation, you're going to get a boost just from using DLSS, right? So we went from 115 frames per second to 156 using frame generation.
Or unsafe conditions on the upper levels
Okay?
to the Sidonia Department of Public Works.
In this room. In this room. Okay? So at 50% resolution scale, things are a little softer. I don't see any kind of weird stuff going on when I'm spinning, because that would be when it would do it, right? There might be some things that are happening that you don't really notice. Let's like it
I
looks.
heard they found another new freshwater deposit in one of the mines. So much better than paying those ridiculous import prices.
Nope. Yeah, let me see if I can sit down here. Now see, I don't know if this is an animation. Yeah, it's kind of hard to. I need to be higher. I guess there's no other. There is definitely when there is definitely some. Oh wait, I'm not first person. That's why.
Careful
So
near the railings on the upper levels.
in
It's a long way down.
I'm trying to see like what the latency is.
I hear Geppetto has started making.
I mean, I don't know.
Hey, at least if the robot learns to lie, we'll know by the size of their nose.
Another zoning meeting at MAST has resulted in a
The
stalemate.
latency NVIDIA is
Several
reporting
areas
is
currently zoned as residential.
6.5 milliseconds. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, see, I don't know if all this stuff is being reported properly, right? Because right now it's saying it's 6.6 milliseconds.
My partner's had a nasty cold, so I've just been taking care of them for the time being. Oh no.
Now there did, if you look back, if you look in the right-hand side, somebody, okay, that's a TV screen or something. What is that? Something was happening over on there. The guy just came back, so I don't know what that is. What is that? Is that like a...
Found a clutch of
Has one more trick up its sleeve to
Oh.
reclaim its title from last year.
Alright, there you go. There might have been, I don't know if that was the actual, let's look at this ad here. Let's see if it comes back on. See, something weird was happening there. There you go.
Reminder that despite the low
I don't know if that was...
a fall into Sidonia's lower level is still likely to result in injury or death.
I think it glitched though.
Please exercise caution near balcony
Echoes.
edges.
Let's see if it glitched. I think that's supposed to be doing that.
Said, do I have to be subjected to universal propaganda? But this view may be in the minority, as the message of the universals continues to spread.
Yeah, I guess it's okay.
Mars isn't for everybody.
I mean, right here we're getting 147 frames per second. Looking at the sign, we're getting 195. That's crazy, huh?
Dangerous threats. It would seem the mercenaries
Out here,
If you need a quiet spot to think,
we're getting
the
like
community center is a
151.
good place.
How's it?
Where there's more people,
civilian merchant
we're
vessels
getting
they claim have violated some law.
like
Freestar
150.
Collective and United Colonies authorities appear hesitant to officially clamp down on Ecliptic, citing a lack of evidence and the fact that they occasionally
This
still
life
employ the
ends.
services of the
Yeah,
company.
so I don't, it doesn't really feel like there's much going on. Now NVIDIA Reflex is also enabled, so just know that. Hey dude, I mean woman.
For years,
Wow,
Allied
they
Arms
really need to fix
has been
the
a
eyes,
premier
man.
supplier of private firearms.
It's funny how they're like calling people names because they're like mentioning the eyes look really freaky, right? It's kind of stupid.
And it's not just Laredo that's a threat.
Let me change it back to full resolution to see if she looks clearer.
Where Kinetics and Competech have been
Oh,
making
really?
gains as well.
The lighting in this game is not very good.
Caution.
Here comes the
Subterranean
boom.
particle detonation imminent. Be advised to secure loose articles and find stable ground or remain seated in the event of unforeseen tremors.
Go to Mars, they said.
Detonation occurs.
The pay is
in
great,
5,
they said.
4,
So's the
3,
crippling depression.
2, 1.
He doesn't like it here apparently. Alright, so let's go down here.
It is now safe to resume normal activity.
This looks like a good spot. So let's turn this to 50 again. I mean, I don't really notice like a huge quality difference, man. I really don't. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, if this is like a foreshadowing of what's to come with DLSS 3.5, then AMD's got a lot of work ahead of them. I mean, and it's really hard to tell the difference at 4K. All right, so I'm gonna save it here. Save. And I am gonna quit. And I am going to change it back to frame generation off. All right. Okay. Let me just. So frame generation is okay. Just making sure. Okay. So here we go. Turning it back on again. So this is wonderful, man. I can't wait to try this on my lower end cards. I hate taking I really hate taking my 4090 out though, you know. Now remember this frame rate here would be higher if I wasn't streaming. So just keep that in mind. And the same thing will go for the other cards cuz I'm going to stream each one, right? Um so settings are 100% resolution scale, so everything's there. So let's continue. We should be down at the mining area. All right, so we're back down to 67 frames per second, right? All right, and our wattage is up to 327. So keep that in mind that DLSS not only helps out with picture quality and anti-aliasing, but it also helps out with the wattage that you're using. So if we put it, we're going to put it at 50%. All right, we're just going to go right to 50% and see what changes. So we went from 325 watts to 259 watts. And we went all the way up to 102 frames per second. So I mean that is quite a jump, right? Almost 40 frames per second going to 50% resolution scale. You know? Go ahead, don't mind me. Get back to work.
Live where you work. Tired of commuting from distant systems to Sidonia every day? Lux Condominiums
She doesn't
has
want to work if
premium
I'm here.
apartments
There you go.
available to rent. Whether you need single, double, or family occupancy, Lux has you covered. Inquire today.
So we're at 103. So again, if we turn it back to 100%, we're at 65. But remember, we're using DLAA, right? So you have to keep that in mind.
You know why they call this the red planet? Because it's not a moon! Thank you. I'll be here all
That was a nice, funny joke, lady.
Shame what happened with Hank.
Yeah, it is. More than a shame. He was dumb. Stay there. Boy, it's very bright here. So I wonder what happens if I turn off FSR. Will it crash the game? Alright, so this is no upscaling whatsoever. Let's find an area that has let's see. Let's find an area that has some aliasing going on. I don't know where we can find. The city would be perfect actually.
A friend offered me a nice cushy office job, but I'm making double out here in the Sidonia mines. Joke's on them.
Don't go back. I want to get close. I want to get close to you. She don't like being close. Hey. I'm trying to look at your hair. Alright, so nothing's really showing there. I wonder about my character. See, I don't know, like, once you put the mod in, it kind of replaces everything, I think, automatically, but
Don't be caught on the Martian
I'm not really
surface
sure.
without proper protective gear. All outside surface activities require the use of a certified safety suit.
I think back at the city would probably be the best thing. Let's see if we can, let's see if we can go back to, where is it? Alpha Centauri system. Set course. Let's jump there. Because New Atlantis.
You're entering United Colony space. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned.
Yeah, New Atlantis would be the best place to.
Scan complete. You're cleared to land at New Atlantis.
Right, so New Atlantis is the best place. Let's land. Okay. Yuck. Ugh. They could have done a whole lot better with this city. You know what I mean?
Kids miss you.
A whole lot better. Alright, let's try to find some stuff to look at here that might be crappy looking. Usually this railing here has a lot of aliasing going on. Oh my goodness. How can you run out of oxygen?
Are you working?
I mean, imagine living that kind of a life. Where the oxygen that you're breathing isn't enough. I mean, obviously if you're sick, but I'm talking about if you're a perfectly healthy person. Alright, let's see. It's better at nighttime. I guess I could have slept. See, I don't know if, like, the mod being in there just automatically enables DLAA. You know what I'm saying? Because even with the 4090...
Sergeant Yuri was looking for you. Apparently,
Alright, so there's something down there, right there above my little dot. So I don't know if that's gonna change. It's kind of far away. Let's see if we can get closer. Alright, yeah, it's still kind of flickering back there, but that could just be a texture problem. But the farther we get away, the more pronounced it is, so let's see what happens when we enable DLSS. Oh, wait, where is it? Alright. Gone. See that? Gone. Disappeared. Why is dynamic oh. Let's see if that changes anything. No. I keep forgetting dynamic resolution comes on all the time. So if we turn it off, there it is, it's back again. You can see it. Now again, at nighttime, things are much more messed up. So let me see here. This just might be a, I don't know, I have to...
Hello.
I have to find a really bad section that's doing a lot of aliasing.
News from Sidonia. Governor Glenhurst has stepped down from his post under mysterious circumstances. Although Hurt's official press release
Let me make sure it's off. Yeah.
states he is quitting due to family reasons.
Alright, there's another one there. How do I get rid of my... How do I go to hand-to-hand combat in this game? Anyway, you can see right there. It's kind of hard to tell. Right, but there's a lot of that going on actually on all the railings. It's just that you don't notice it as much until you zoom in a little bit more, right? So if I turn on DLSS, it's gone. There might be some lighting there going on, I'm not sure. When you zoom in, it kind of comes back a little. But that's like the problem with this game on all these edges. But the DLAA will take care of like the, you know, I guess the, I don't know what you want to say, more extreme, you know, more extreme cases. Like there still might be some, you know, aliasing going on. He's ready to fight, huh? Now you want to get close to me. So let's just see how it looks when we turn it. Oh, it is on. Okay. So we're up to 60 frames. What are we on? 53 frames per second. So if we turn it off, we're still okay. So you can see here the water at native, 53 frames per second. Looks pretty nice, right? But like, there's a lot of flickering. Like right there, there's flickering in the window. Where the separations are in the panes of the windows. I don't know if you can see that or not. So let's see what happens if we turn on DLSS. Again, I don't know if I'm supposed to have dynamic resolution on, but I don't think so. See, all that goes away. There's no more of that flickering. Now if I zoom in, you may get some, but it mitigated at least most of it when you're just like walking around regular. You know, yeah, if you zoom in sometimes closer, because now you're pulling in the resolution or whatever, but for the most part, it got rid of all that. And the game still looks nice. See, the water still looks great. So if we go to 50% on regular DLSS, we go from 53 frames per second to 81. So that's pretty good. That's 30 frames per second more. I mean, that's pretty amazing if you think about it. Let me make sure yeah, I gotta get going soon. So let's try frame gen here in the city. I'm gonna turn it back up to 100%. So yeah, we're like at 52, 53. So I have to save it here because this is a good spot. This really is tanking the frame rates here. We're also too, again, we're at 300 and say 3 watts. If we turn DLSS up to 50% scaling, it goes from 303 to 253. So you save 50 watts just turning DLSS to 50%. So that's pretty nice. If you want to save on power and still have a good looking game. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this, I'm going to exit the game. I don't know if I have to save it again. Alright, so let me quit the game. Alright, I'm going to get the Jensen file, JSON file back up. Notepad just once, and I'm going to put frame generation. Now, frame generation will be on immediately upon starting the game up. Okay, so just remember that. So we're going to go from 53 to whatever base, we're going to be at. But just remember, we were at 53, okay? That was native with just DLAA. Now, DLAA does give a hit, so, it would be a little more if we shut the FSR off, or shut the DLSS off, but at 100%. So we'll see how it is here. Because the city here is like worst case scenario, right? So we're gonna just make sure everything's good. Dynamic resolution's on again. I don't know why I don't know if that needs to be on for frame gen or not. But it keeps coming on. I don't know why. So let's just see what we have though. Let's continue. Wow, I can't believe it's like 43 minutes. Whew, time goes by fast. And I'm trying to be quick about everything. Alright, so with frame generation on, we went from 53 to 84. So that's like 30, 31 frames per second immediately without DLSS. Right? So that's just frame generation. And we're up to 11 milliseconds, which still is not bad. That's pretty good. Right? So let's start turning stuff down. So what are we at now? We are at like 80, I don't know, it's fluctuating here, I guess because of the water. Let's just look at the windows. Alright, so that's a good solid 87. So, yeah. So let's go to 25% down on the resolution. Right? And let's see what we get. So we went up to 106. Right? So that's like rendering. So right now we're rendering at 1440 and it's upscaling to 4K. Right? And the wattage went down to 285. So if we were at what, 87? So we went from 87 to 107. So that was what, 20 frames per second more? It isn't a huge jump, but we were already at 30 frames more with frame generation. Then you turn DLSS on and you get another you get another 20 frames per second. And then if we go to 50%, which is like 1080p upscaled to 4K, I believe. Now what are we going to be at? So 127. So we got another 20 frames per second boost. So we went from 87 to 127. And now we're only using 266 watts, 270 watts right here. And the frame times actually got better using DLSS. So we went from 11 milliseconds to 7.5. I mean, it doesn't seem like the response is bad at all. Now again, the NVIDIA Reflex is enabled by default in the config file. So the game does look softer. It does look softer. So you could turn up the sharpening, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like sharpening that much, but I mean, we can just try it. I mean, the sharpening to me doesn't really make it look better. It just makes it look, I don't know. It makes it look more grainy. Because it's already like soft to begin with, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and turn it back up to native. I'm going to turn this back. I'll put this on like 35%. So I'm going to put this back to 100%. No DLSS, just 4K with some sharpening. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks better. Don't you like how they get up there like robots? Like they don't get up like smoothly, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't rotate, huh? That's weird. I thought you'd be able to kind of look at your character. Oh, you can. Okay, duh. Alright, so we're at 86. So what happens when you turn off FSR when you have frame generation on? Does it shut everything off? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. So this is without. So I guess this is native without any DLSS at all. I mean, so this is just native 4K. I don't know. I swear that the game looks better with DLSS. I don't know. To me, it just looks better. I mean, I really think it looks better with DLSS on. Because I think it takes away all those little shimmy things.
The petition doesn't say we want to kick people out of the well, just that there should be more oversight. You gonna sign?
Ugh, no way.
Because it takes all those little like aliasing things, so it makes everything look kind of a little more crisp, you know?
Just not him. Yes.
A special rule needs to be made.
He can find redemption, just do it somewhere else.
So right off, so without any upscaling, you get a free 30 frames per second with no upscaling. And the frame times are, you know, Well, it's fluctuating here probably because of the water. You know, you're say 11.
I heard Neon is a pretty
averaging.
fun place.
So once you turn DLSS on, that actually gets better.
It's not as bad as everyone says. We should visit sometime.
See, now you're like at 9. So like your latency will actually well actually this is okay. So Nvidia is reporting
I spend way too much time inside.
Okay,
I think I should pick
that's
up
what
a
we should
hobby
be
that's
looking
outdoors.
at now that it's working. So my bad. I didn't even notice that was different. Sorry. I was looking at Afterburner thinking that was reporting the same stuff. So
Go for it.
That's my fault. I'm sorry. Alright, so Nvidia, okay, without any alright, let's take everything off. Okay. Everything off. So our render latency is at well, it's bouncing from like 17 to 22. So I don't know what we could say the average was there. Let's look this way. Maybe it'll be a little more consistent, maybe?
It's
no?
a tragedy as far as I'm concerned.
See, now Afterburner is reporting it, see?
I'd go as far as to say it's a criminal act. People should be put on trial for that decision.
It's reporting the right one now. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe that's the average? I don't know. Anyway, we're about at like 19, say, okay? We'll say 19. So if we turn on frame generation, let's see how far it jumps up. Alright, so now it's up to, let me turn this so that Afterburner maybe can readjust. I don't know what's going on with that. It's not really adjusting. Maybe because it doesn't have the data from the DLSS file. Maybe that's the case. So we went from like, it's kind of hard to tell because it's like bouncing all over the place. It went from like 19 to what looks like, I don't know, average of like 23. That was just turning on frame generation. So now if we go to like 75%, let's see how that changes. So now it's back down to like say 1920. So turning on DLSS 75% gives you 3 of the 4 milliseconds that you lost. You know what I mean? And it's even more stable than just using frame generation alone. Because there isn't a big fluctuation like there was before. So that's kind of interesting, huh? But if we go to all the way to 50% here with frame gen on, we're going all the way up to 126 frames per second. And in this direction a little bit more. So if we go in this direction, frame gen we got 134 at 50%. If we put it on 100%, then we're at like 90, 91. So that would be your base frame gen FPS with no upscaling. And then if we turn it off, we're down to 59 frames per second. So we go from 59 native to 59 to 92. So you're getting more than 30 frames per second, right? So not bad for free frames, but I would turn DLSS on just to mitigate some of that latency. So you can maybe even just put it on 90, right? Yeah, I mean, if you just put it on a little bit, you get a couple more frames, and then it kind of like stabilizes that render latency. I don't know why. You know? So I mean, this is great. Anyway, that's all I got to say for now, I guess. I would say install the mod. I mean, there's no downside to it as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you're only going to improve your experience exponentially, you know? And you can adjust it however you feel you need to adjust it. You don't have to, like, you know, it's totally configurable if you know what you're doing, you know? But 4K, 95 frames per second, when I was getting 59, not bad. Alright guys, peace, thanks for watching, I hope this was helpful. Love y'all. Bye. Let me say goodbye to everybody.
Okay, sounds good.
I know this is a bad time of day to stream too, I guess, but whatever. It's fine. That's all I can do. Alright, take care. See ya.